Someone recently told me that they're having a problem calling their horse in out of the pasture. So I thought I'd do a video on this. It's not specific to the issues that maybe she's having with her horse, but it's just a general overview of some situations that can create this problem. If you've taught your horse some method of being called in and you've done it short range, close up, and then you've expanded on that and created more and more distance till you're gradually calling the horse in out of the field, and then the horse won't come in. Many times the problem isn't the method that you're using to call the horse in, it's more what you're doing after you call the horse in that the horse is objecting to. Now think for a minute. Say you're sitting out on your deck with some of your friends and you're having a few drinks and you're barbecuing, and the phone rings. And you look at your phone and you see, oh, it's a good friend of yours that you've known for many, many years, but over the last year or so, every time that person calls, all they want is you to do something. They want you to either help them move, or they want to borrow money, or they want this, or they want that. They never want to just go do anything anymore. And you look at the phone, and you see it, and it's ringing, and you look at your friends and the good time that you're having. Do you answer that phone, or do you just put it down and pretend that you didn't see it? Maybe the phone's in the house. It's the same with the horse. If every time you call the horse in out of the field, you do something with it that it doesn't like say you bring it in, you round pen it, you get on it, you do circles and whatever, and the horse knows that every time when you go out there and catch it, that's what you're going to do, it's going to do the same thing. It's not going to answer your call. It's just going to sit there and look at its friends and go, we found a nice spot of clover here, sun's shining really nice, so-and-so's getting the flies off my back. It's really good. I think I'll stay here instead. Now think of another situation. Same situation. You're out on the deck having a barbecue with your friends, and it's winding down and people are starting to go home and stuff, and a friend of yours calls up and says, hey, you want to go fishing? You really love to go fishing and you really like this friend, but lately every time you go out in his boat he makes you sit in the seat that has a crack in it and keeps pinching you in the butt. And you're like, I told him about it, he doesn't fix it. I tried to put something on it, I almost slid in the water because the damn thing slipped across the seat. Nah, I'm just going to tell him no. It's the same thing with your horse. If you're calling that horse in the field and you're going to put a saddle on it that's going to pinch him, or you're you're pulling the bit in his mouth, or you're doing something that hurts him or annoys him in some way, too much pressure, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to go, I really like that person. I really like being with them. They're a lot of fun. But gee, that saddle hurts. Now I think I'll stay here with my friends. Now, I recommend clicker training a horse to come if you're having a problem calling in and out of the field. And I've mentioned this in other videos, that when you're calling a horse in and out of the field and it doesn't work the first time and you have to call again and again, each time your voice is going to change. You're going to get frustration in there, perhaps anger, disappointment. A whole range of emotions can show up in your voice, and that's being projected out to the horse. And when you do that, the horse can react on those and know whether, they're about to give up in a minute, or they're going to come out and get me here in 2 seconds. And they'll react accordingly. They might go farther away from you, say. So if you use the clicker and you click the horse, when you click it 3 times, the horse hears the same thing every time. It doesn't hear that change in emotion. Of course, you have to teach the horse to come to a clicker first. Any method of training a horse to come, you should do it close up and then expand the distance more and more. You shouldn't just expect them to come from a great distance if they weren't coming from a short distance. But I would recommend clicker training a horse to come that isn't coming in out of pasture for you. Another suggestion that I'd make is that when you bring a horse in out of a pasture and he's away from his buddies and his life of leisure, I'd do something fun with him first. I'd even reward him. What harm would there be in giving him half an apple when you bring him in? What harm would there be in bringing him around to get some nice grass for 5 or 10 minutes before you actually do something with them? You might try also going down to the pasture with your halter and your lead rope draped over your shoulder and just calling the horse over occasionally, giving it a treat and turning around and walking away. You might call him and put the halter and lead rope on a couple times, lead him around in a circle, and just let him go. And in doing this, you take away the trigger, because a horse, when they see you coming with the halter and lead rope, know you have a different intent than when you're coming with nothing, no tack. And they're more likely to come racing over to you if they don't see the tack. By doing this, then the horse doesn't know when you show up with the halter and lead rope what you're going to do. Don't just do this, though, without trying to figure out what it is that the horse doesn't like about coming to you. And don't take it personally. It's probably not you personally. It's probably what you're doing after you halter the horse, after you catch it.